So long had the focus. The last Sunday 50 years ago was Bloody Sunday in Selma, Alabama. For 40 years, the Voting Rights Act was protected. You had to go through the Department of Justice before you altered any of the boundaries. That's what Justice Roberts ruled in June of 2013. It took us back to states' rights in voting. The states immediately gerrymandered white Democrats out, put black and brown at the back of state legislatures, and then uniformly decided to reject the Affordable Health Care Act, the kind of re-rise of the Confederacy. And what concerns me now as I look at working with both of those campaigns on voter turnout, the South is fertile ground for a new coalition. I was in South Carolina, for example. There are 900,000 blacks alone registered to vote in that state. Nikki Haley won by 60,000 votes.
Right.
400,000 blacks who were registered did not vote. That's obviously a point of concern for me. In Louisiana, 450,000 blacks unregistered. McCain and Romney won by 300,000 votes or less. Turnout's a big deal. Even in the Michigan race, the 530,000 registered voters in Detroit, Hillary got 89,000 votes, Bernie got 30,000. So 80% didn't vote. A lot of focus will be on voter turnout and issue formation. I have a theory as to why some people are not turning out. That's because we've not warmed the grass with delivery. We can target the inner city for registration and target the inner city for voter turnout, but not targeted for investment. Investment is how you water the grass. Detroit, 100,000 big homes are abandoned lots. Chicago, 80,000 abandoned homes are vacant lots. In these areas, the poverty base has expanded, the middle class base has sunk. So we have drugs in, guns in, jobs out. So there must be an urban policy that will inspire people to break the cycle of cynicism and give them hope again. That's what my focus is.
What about immigration? What about those undocumented immigrants and the tone that has been set against immigrants in America, which was built by immigrants?
Suggestion in many a year, the idea of sending 15 million people across the border is worse than the Trail of Tears. It's inhumane, and it will not stand before international court, and it will not work in a practical sense. It will create great hostility. Secondly, the issue of Mexico. Mexico is our neighbor forever. We share 2,000 miles of border with Mexico. It's our number 3 trading partner. Mexico is the gateway to South Central Latin America. 2/3 of this hemisphere is South Central Latin America. We're 1/3 of this hemisphere. So any idea of making us and Mexico hostile undermines our national security. Suppose the threats we now see in the Middle East were in Mexico. We cannot bear the pressure. We need to seek a renewed relationship with our Mexican neighbors.
Reverend Jackson, did you say you have not yet endorsed anyone?
I have not. I relate to both campaigns because I think both are important. Have relationships on both. I relate to Hillary back when she was working in the Delta of Arkansas and Mississippi, working with providing poor people legal help. She was working with the Children's Defense Fund and the health care when she was in the White House. Bernie, of course, endorsed me when I ran in 84 and 88, so we have a kinship. So good friends running it. What's good to me is that when it's all over, they will come under one big tent. They made that declaration. When it's all over, they're fighting now over where's the best health care plan, as opposed to if I win, I'll eliminate Affordable Health Care Act. They're fighting over the right issues, trying to make distinctions, but they're stimulating voter participation, but I think not nearly enough voter turnout. And we must put a renewed focus on voter turnout because I think that the right-wing crusade could very well trump any substantive issue we put forth unless we have the votes to offset it.
What do you make of how Donald Trump responds to protesters at his rallies and how that can change these elections?
It's dangerous, and it's divisive, and it's diversionary. The more we focus on the protests at the denying people access to the rallies, less we focus on the need for affordable health care for every American, equal access to education, and the need for an urban policy of reconstruction. Issues that matter are being lost in the cover over melees. And by the way, for the media, I might add, if there is a football game, a baseball game taking place, and the fight starts, they direct the cameras away from the fight. They will not glorify the fight of two football players on television. So the media, to fan the flames of covering these melees on television, helps make a bad matter worse. I think the media bears some responsibility to not glorify these conflicts, because in some sense the covering of them becomes a stimulus.
Well, what if we didn't cover African Americans getting kicked out of his rallies?
The covering is important, but there's almost a stimulation to glorify it. And I think, first of all, it is not healthy. I remember Dr. King's last march in Memphis, Tennessee. We were marching for workers' right to have livable wages and collective bargaining. And at the back of the line, somebody threw a rock on a window. There's more focus on the rock and window than it was on the garbage workers fighting for collective bargaining. So I'm saying the media must have some sense of responsibility in not glorifying these melees and let them divert attention away from the fact that we have, in this state alone, 1 million people still without health care, even though they passed the health care bill. We're focusing away from the fact that in the South Carolina, for example, with $7 billion state budget, and they reject $14 billion of Medicaid expansion. Issues that really matter are not being covered as we cover these skirmishes.
Reverend,
Is either one of these candidates